Peace and blessings, Asapo, the Honorable One, the Success Scholar, Haki Shakur, me here. Thank you for tuning in and listening in. All right. Peace and blessings. Yes, sir. So I wanted to do this piece and say how the conscious community have neglected the legacy and the work of Dr. Amos Wilson. Uh, you know, I just been, as time progresses over the past few weeks, months, and years, shall I say, I've been looking around and, there's rarely any mention of Dr. Amos Wilson through many of these different YouTube people, these videos and movies and local events, even many of the cultural individuals, that people might say the names during a libation, but, are these economic theorists and authors and speakers and, individuals who have conferences, um, individuals that are bringing Dick Gregory in to speak in Baltimore or talking about the gay agenda or they're talking about uh, the new film Get Out. Everybody has a opinion on that. You see, I didn't even do a conversation about it because in most of my videos, because I don't want to necessarily appeal to too much of the ignorance and more of the worldliness and the pop culture that's going on. I want to stick to strictly scholarly, empowering debates. I mean, I've talked about a few different films that I feel are valuable and insightful and critical for our freedom and development and empowerment. But I just really, I just, of course, check out my last piece. I wanted to, since I think I'm probably one of the only ones, or yes, there's a few, brother Mark Bowden, Dr. Haight, a few other individuals who actually have kept the work of Dr. Amos Wilson alive. But now, he's being buried by people that just want to pimp off of the ignorant masses. And this is why you have individuals having Dick Gregory every other month in Baltimore charging $20, $30 to get in to hear entertaining, laughing, and joking conspiracy theory. And this is why you have individuals on the radio that will, talk about all kind of numbers and, talk about why Tom Bradley was on the second yard line and it was 42 seconds and 42 plus 2 equals 44. President Barack Obama's who was the president, and he was watching at the White House at 1600 North Avenue, and the number 16 is 16 because the 1 plus the 6 equals 7, and 7 is the number of completion, you see. So many people will sit up there and listen to all of the water sprinklers out here and people that actually, actually the system of racism, white supremacy is causing individuals to deviate into weirdish type of behavior and having weird conversations. And this is why, unfortunately, and many of these individuals out here who many of us have considered to be conscious over time, either they never really were readers to that degree, so they never could really comprehend the legacy and importance of the work of Dr. Amos Wilson, or many individuals are actually afraid, actually, just really afraid, just based upon his message in the manner of which he expressed some of his articulations. And so Uh, I'm at this time, and as I mentioned partially on my last video, and I've been really looking at some other individuals, and I'm just like, so how has this happened where you have people who became popular in a sense off of YouTube and hits, but many of them have not done a critical analysis, a critical breakdown, as well as to position themselves to finish the work of a great thinker, leader, and teacher like Dr. Amos Wilson. Huh? So I'm just, really saddened actually, and really just wanted to create a level of alertness for those. And yes, I realize there are some people out there who, appreciate his work, but they just haven't been connected enough to the right people, such as myself, who, what I believe, I've positioned much of his work, I've carried his work further than any other thinker, scholar, builder out here of this time. And whether anyone wished to doubt that or debate that, I actually know what I've how I've positioned that work in front of particular individuals, giving individuals those options over the past 10, 15 years. So, with that being said, I mentioned, in terms of business and investing, how, certain things lay the foundation for who I am. And sometimes I have to maybe hold my Amos Wilson cards and, maybe not put out the knowledge of what he expressed, but deep understanding. I know that some things, and of course, not everything was actually written in there. Not everything could I, shall I say, could I believe that he couldn't visualize in the future. I mean, so there are some things, and not to say I'm an exact microcosm of his teachings, but I certainly believe that that I've studied his work and internalized it to the degree that I can think about the big picture in terms of how to proceed. So I'm doing a call out. I'm asking for those that are interested in maybe setting up a preservation or doing a type of commemoration for our late, great elder, warrior, scholar, teacher, Dr. Amos Wilson. And I'll ask several of our builders, key builders, but for you all that consider yourself students, and I know that it's not many out here nowadays, and individuals have become actually demoralized and economically disenfranchised. But as Amos Wilson said, you don't become defeated, economically defeated. And it was a cassette back then called Psychology of Economic Defeat. So I just want to say that the work certainly is being done. Uh, Unfortunately, many and plenty, of our scholars that are out here, they respect, the Malcolm X's, and, always want to commemorate him, and the Khaleds, of course, Dr. Khaled, and, shout out to Shabatu, who is still doing the work. I haven't actually, he came to the DC area several times, each occasion. I haven't been able to connect with him. Actually, I did meet him at the ASCAC conference in Philadelphia. Was it Philadelphia, I believe? Yes. So I did, or Jersey, I believe. So um, what I'm saying at this particular time is that, and I so wish that, he could have preserved his life a little longer to be around now. to guide us, because he interviewed some key individuals, which was like priceless. So I'm just doing this as an appeal for the young people, out here that, or the likers, or people that have seen my videos over the years, and I have several subscribers that know some things about me. I don't put everything out there, but uh, I think that the blueprint, and of course the Garvey book is the New World Order book, is certainly a critical, insightful analysis that I think that needs to be upheld. And I'm not sure to what level I would be able to do that. So I feel that it's critical for me to raise this up at this time, uh, as I see again that people have not, some individuals that are out here, they haven't mentioned his name in, ever, and they'll talk about Dr. Welsing, of course, and many many other great individuals. And I think that perhaps it's because, of course, he began to step on some of the historical revisionists, as well as the conspiracy theorists, and you had people like Dr. York up in New York that really, what I believe is, spooked uh, several people out, where many people would want to follow behind the weird type of teachings, and the speculation in the New Age theories, or getting caught up in the various religious schisms that and doctrines and dogma that we as Black people have been manipulated into over since we've been here, and up to this day. People are trying to find ways to cope, and new ideas to escape, and some folk want to fill themselves up to feel like they are intelligent, so they research all in this, spooky type of things about the aliens coming to save you, and individuals having debates around these types of things, and wasting critical nation building time. And so, and this is where, even with myself, how many of these individuals have attempted to reposition me, or push me out of scholarly, from being a true centered builder. I mean, many of the different plots, of course, that have come out to position me, outside. So, but and that's why I had to do some maneuvering to create different allies and alliances, so that my work can continue for a significant time. And so I just want to say, continue to support my work. Some true institution and nation building is going to take place. One of the big things I'm working on right now, we want to do some things around this Tupac film that's going to come out. I mean, we have to seize the time with that. So I have some people's looking at some of the actors that were actually in the film, as well as some of the professors. I've asked some of the local professors between DC and Baltimore to come together and connect the dots with this, and we're going to have a panel discussion, perhaps in Prince George's County or Baltimore, but definitely in Baltimore for sure. So that's going to be coming up real soon. But I just wanted to put this out about our ancestor, Dr. Amos Wilson, who laid out critical work. If you do not know of his work, I mean, you can listen to it, but I also must encourage you to listen to me, because I'm able to reinterpret all of that, because I know that many people, for those young people out here that's younger than 40, if you're listening to YouTube, and it's not many people or places where someone is going to encourage you to read this level of work, because even some of the psychologists, they want you to buy their book or come to their lecture because they quote Dr. Amos Wilson's work, but do not never give them the proper credit along with people like Jawanza Gunjufo. So I'm saying that I'm doing that level of work. And of course, if I need to travel to your city, if we need to put together a platform on the psychology of poverty, of course, we certainly can do that. I'm open to that. I'm developing more and more speaking on a variety of issues. Again, I am the success scholar, and so I'm putting together key analysis that our people, our community need, and institutions that we need uh, to provide food, clothing, shelter, education, medication, and self-defense. So with that being said, I must say that let's move forward. Let's continue to progress. Let's uh, elevate. Let's rise. Stay conscious. Stay awake. Stay tuned in to the Success Scholar. Peace.